On June 5, 1968, just after midnight, Senator Robert F. Kennedy was gunned down at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, California. Having just won the Democratic presidential primary for the state of California on June 4th, he had delivered his victory speech in the hotel's embassy room and exited the stage through the rear.
My thanks to all of you, and now on to Chicago and let's win there.
As he was making his way through the crowded pantry room behind the stage, a young Palestinian immigrant, enraged, we are told, by Robert Kennedy's support for Israel, lunged at him and emptied an 8-round .22 caliber pistol, killing RFK and wounding 5 others before being subdued and disarmed by onlookers. But is this what really happened? Upon close examination of the facts, it becomes apparent that the murder of RFK, like that of his brother JFK, was not and could not have been the work of a lone gunman. In this video, I will present 10 pieces of evidence in brief that rebut the official narrative of the RFK assassination. This is by no means an exhaustive list, and at the end of the video, I will provide a list of resources that you may use to further investigate this case. Let's begin. Number 10. Too many shots. Kennedy was shot 4 times. 3 bullets hit him, and 1 went through his coat, and 5 other victims were shot, which makes for a total of 9 shots. If we accept that the shot that went through his coat was one of the shots that injured one of the other victims, that puts us at 8 shots, the maximum number Sirhan could have fired. However, 4 bullet holes were found in the door frame of the pantry, and at least 1 in the ceiling, for a total of 13 confirmed shots. Number 9. Go Gadget Arm?
Go Gadget Arms!
According to Kennedy's autopsy report, the fatal shot which entered his brain behind his right ear was fired from behind him at point-blank range. According to all eyewitnesses, Sirhan was never behind Kennedy, and the closest he got was several feet to the front left of Kennedy. Number 8. Firing blanks. Numerous eyewitnesses reported seeing a tongue of fire from Sirhan's gun muzzle as he was emptying his pistol. A live .22 caliber round does not produce this effect, but blanks or slugless cartridges contain flash paper that burns when the gun is fired, producing a long, highly visible flame. Number 7. Ballistics. The chain of custody for the gun and recovered bullets was destroyed, with ample evidence that the bullets that were collected from the victims were not the same bullets that were presented at Sirhan's trial, and the gun that they were supposed to have matched was not the gun that was recovered from Sirhan. Number 6. Sirhan's non-defense team. Sirhan's lawyers stipulated his guilt, and the trial was conducted to determine his state of mind and whether he could be declared not guilty by reason of insanity. His lawyers did not challenge the ballistics evidence or present any evidence of conspiracy. He was ultimately convicted of first-degree murder of Robert Kennedy. Number 5. Hypnotized. According to the police officers who arrested and questioned Sirhan after the assassination, he seemed to have no memory of the event and took no credit for it, which is strange for a supposed ideologically motivated political assassin. The parallels with the accused assassin of JFK are striking.
Did you kill the president?
No, I've not been charged with that. In fact, nobody has said that to me yet. The first thing I heard about it was when the newspaper reporters in the hall asked me that question.
You have been.
Nobody said what?
Sir?
You have been.
Nobody said what? Okay, we can't hear you back. Okay.
What did you do in Russia?
A doctor hired by Sirhan's defense team demonstrated his extreme susceptibility to hypnotism by successfully hypnotizing Sirhan to climb the walls of his jail cell like a monkey whenever the doctor blew his nose with a large white handkerchief. When and under what circumstances could he have been subjected to hypnotic programming? A couple of years prior to the assassination, he sustained some minor injuries after falling from a horse in Corona, California, but he made a total of 13 related hospital visits. Sirhan's brother Sharif noticed that Sirhan's personality seemed to change drastically after his accident. Is it possible that he was discovered at the hospital and subjected to programming, turning him into a sleeper agent to be activated when and where necessary? Number 4. The girl in the polka dot dress. In the moments prior to the assassination, Sirhan was seen in the company of a woman in a polka dot dress who seemed to be propping him up and whispering to him. Shortly after the assassination, witness Sandra Serrano saw a woman in a polka dot dress and a male companion run past her on the fire escape steps, the woman yelling, "We shot him." There were numerous other witness accounts of a woman in a polka dot dress behaving suspiciously that night at the Ambassador Hotel. Number 3. The Security Guard from Hell. As detailed by author Lisa Pease in her book, A Lie Too Big to Fail, there is evidence of multiple shooters in the pantry apart from Sirhan. One possibility that we will focus on here is the security guard who was ushering Kennedy through the pantry and standing behind him on his right when he was shot, a man named Thane Eugene Cesar. Cesar's day job was at Lockheed Aircraft, which required him to have a Department of Defense security clearance. He had a side job working for Ace Security, which was providing security for the Ambassador Hotel. According to Lisa Pease, Cesar had also worked for a security firm called Bel Air Patrol, which was owned by a man named Bob Mayhew, the right-hand man of reclusive billionaire Howard Hughes. Mayhew did contract work for the CIA and was the real-life inspiration for the television show Mission Impossible. He is considered a prime suspect among assassination researchers as the mastermind behind the assassination of Robert Kennedy. Back to Thane Cesar. He was standing behind Kennedy to his right, and at least 3 witnesses reported seeing him with his gun drawn. He was in the perfect position to have fired the point-blank fatal headshot behind Kennedy's right ear. Cesar owned a .22 caliber pistol, which he sold after the assassination, warning the buyer that there might be an issue with the gun. Number 2. John Fahey's Mystery Girl. On the morning of June 4th, 1968, around 9:15 a.m., salesman John Fahey went to the Ambassador Hotel to meet with another salesman. Fahey was almost an hour late due to traffic and could not find his colleague, whom Fahey assumed had already left. While standing in the lobby of the hotel, he noticed an attractive woman nearby. He made small talk with her and invited her to join him for breakfast in the coffee shop. Fahey later recounted that she had an Arabic complexion and spoke with a slight accent. She told him she was from various places, including Virginia, New York, Beirut, Aqaba, and she also gave him multiple names. She seemed to be keen on finding out as much information about Fahey as possible, and when Fahey asked what her business was, she replied, "I don't want to get you involved. I don't know if I can trust you to tell you the whole thing." She said they were being watched and nodded toward a dark-complected man standing near the door of the coffee shop. She seemed extremely agitated and asked Fahey if he knew how she could get a passport. Fahey said he couldn't help her with that, but he invited her to drive with him to the town of Oxnard, where he had business to conduct. As they left, she insisted on paying the bill and pulled out a thick wad of $50 and $100 bills. As they drove up the coastal route through Malibu, Fahey noticed that they were being tailed. The woman said the people tailing them were out to get Kennedy tonight at the winning reception. Thoroughly unnerved, Fahey decided to opt out of his business call when he got to Oxnard, and instead drove back to Los Angeles and dropped the woman off at the Ambassador Hotel at around 7 p.m. Robert Kennedy would be killed there a few hours later. Number 1. A strange incident in Malibu. At around 10 p.m. the night of June 3, 1968, a woman in her home in Malibu heard her doorbell ring. Not wanting to answer the door, she yelled out, "Who is it?" "It's the telephone repairman," a male voice answered. "Are you kidding?" she replied, considering the late hour and her lack of telephone problems. "No, I'm not," was the response. Frightened, she immediately called the LA Sheriff's Office, who told her there was nothing they could do. The next day, June 4th, she found out that Robert Kennedy was staying in the house next door. In those days, bugs had to be manually placed on telephone lines. Was someone attempting to tap Robert Kennedy's telephone line from the neighbor's yard in order to monitor him and his movements? And here's an interesting fact about that house in Malibu where Robert Kennedy was staying as a guest. It belonged to John Frankenheimer, the director of the film The Manchurian Candidate.